Welcome to the Blue Collar Nation podcast, the podcast dedicated to making the lives of home service professionals better. Now join Eric and Larry to talk about all things home service.
Well, hello, everybody in Facebook world. Larry, Eric, Brian, Christina, Rob, and DB is with you. Here zooming away. And we're happy. We got some cool topics to talk about with everybody today. And Eric's got a nice little presentation that he's going to share. Not a presentation, but just topics. And I actually made the suggestion, which I didn't email about this last week. We talked about this a lot. And I'm going to let you start with it, and then we're going to jump in and have a nice conversation with everybody.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. We usually do 15, 20 minutes every Tuesday on a topic. And today we're going to talk about how people skills grow companies. Larry and I have been banging this drum for the last 15 years that, at the end of the day, business is humans relating to other human beings. And the better that we can do with that, the more successful we're going to be. So I pulled out from Larry's email to me 5, I think, talking points that we all could probably benefit from hearing over and over and over and over. Larry and I tell each other these same things all the time, right? So number 1 is that customers don't review or really understand our technical ability, right? They're not looking for how well does Brian clean a carpet? How good does Eric do on cleaning air ducts? How well are they replacing a new toilet? Whatever, right? Because usually that client doesn't know how to do that, and they don't have any reference point to judge whether we do it well or not. And especially things that can't be seen as much, like, say, carpet cleaning. Carpet cleaning is kind of obvious to some degree. So, what we do as owners and managers often is we put an inordinate amount of time, energy, and effort into getting the technical portion of our business down pat, which, look, we need to be good at what we do. I'm not saying we don't. But then we also don't put enough time into the people themselves, because really, if the client doesn't understand how to replace that toilet, or whether you're doing a good job cleaning the air ducts or whatever it might be, what do they judge us on? How they feel. How they feel about us, how they feel about our technician, how they feel about our brand, how they feel about our van, how they feel about the uniform. Larry, you're running around pointing. You got something to say? You're muted, buddy. Nobody can hear you.
So when I was writing this up, and Jem, our copywriter, wrote this up, when you look at reviews, it doesn't say he was really good technically. It said, oh, they give great service. They took care of my house. They made everything. They talk about thoughts and feelings. They don't talk about he was really good with his wand. He was really good with a wrench. Saying they covered their shoes. They didn't make a mess of my house. They were respectful. I mean, you look at your reviews and see what are people saying about you in a positive way. You could just throw that whole thing in the chat and say, okay, what do we need to focus on? And we didn't have that years ago in our business, obviously. But when I saw that, like, what do the reviews say? I was like, oh, that's right. Reviews don't talk about, oh, the air was so clean from his technical ability.
Yeah,
anyway, did you show you a curve there?
Yeah, you did. It's all good. We'll keep moving on. Larry's right.
Jump to next.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that leads us directly into the point number 2. And Larry, you and I used to say this to our team all the time, right? If somebody hires us, they already assume that we know how to do the job, right? Like they could call 10 plumbing companies, and they, in their mind, think all 10 plumbing companies are equally good at doing the work, right? Because they have no reference point to judge. Now, we all know that maybe 2 of those companies are exceptional and 3 of them are horrible, and everybody else lies in the middle somewhere when it comes to actual technical skill. But if they're not judging us on technical ability, like we talked about in the first point, then we have to understand they've already decided that in their mind that we're capable of doing the job. So then every single thing that separates us from the competition is what we do from that point forward from a service perspective, right? So like I talk about this in restoration all the time. So Larry and I are in a LA with our restoration company, and there's about a billion other restoration companies that we're competing with. But if you really look at all of us, we're all driving the same like ProMaster vans. We're all using the same drying equipment. We've all been IIC certified in WRT and ASD and AMRT. We all wear those uniforms that look pretty similar to each other. Our marketing message all says 24/7 emergency services, right? So like if you start looking at the bigger picture, and look, this goes for carpet cleaning, HVAC, plumbing, it's all the same, right? Well, then what's the differentiator? Service. That's it, right? We're selling service. We're selling what makes us different from our competitors, not what makes us the same. Because if I have all the same stuff that I just listed out as everybody else, then up to that point, I'm no different than anybody else. So, like, let's say I'm a carpet cleaner. How do I charge more in a market that has 10 other carpet cleaners? I better be way better at giving service, and therefore I can charge more. Right. So Larry and I in our area, we had a carpet cleaning business as part of our business. And I mean, we were charging 4 to 6 times more than most of the other companies in our area. And we literally did that just by being really good at putting on a show, being really good at doing estimates, the theater of business with the uniforms or the shoe covers, and how much we trained our team and their people skills and their ability to communicate with clients by using DISC and all these things. I mean, it sounds like a lot of extra work, but what if that extra work takes me from 30 cents a square foot to 80 cents a square foot? Job after job after job after job, because people are willing to pay me the extra 50 cents a square foot to feel good about using us. That's what creates winning service companies. Larry, you have any feedback on that one?
Oh, exactly. That's, it's the theater of business, which we present an awful lot with SuperTech University. And Brian gets that because he's using the lessons and he sees the value in that the team needs to know how to impress people. But the thing with this is it's that leap, everybody, it's the 85% rule that we talk about a lot. Everybody solve problems by training, but they're training technical skills. They have to train personal skills more so that they can think. If you can't figure something out technically and you're not able to think, it's just going to be a mess. They're going to be blowing you up. If they can't figure out a technical thing, but you're teaching them how to think at the same time, odds are they're going to figure out that technical thing in a fashion that makes the client not worried, the client not, alerted that something's going on. They're not sure what's going on. The thinking and the theater of business just makes the job change. And how many times have we been to a job where things didn't go that great, but they liked us, so they called us back? Versus
Well, we talk
they
about
didn't
that in the
like you.
webinar a lot, Larry. You and I, early days in our company, would go out and look, full disclosure, we didn't know much about carpet cleaning. We started the carpet cleaning business, right? So
We were learning how to. What did
we
you learn?
learned
You went
how
on YouTube
we,
to learn the upholstery tool.
yeah. We went on YouTube, and I remember even the first time we bought a truck mount, we got it in the first job, and we looked at each other and went, "How do we turn this thing on?" Right? So, but guess what? We had high-end clients. They used us over and over again. They loved us. They were giving us 5-star reviews on Google and Yelp. Why? All right, Larry and I might not have at that moment been great carpet cleaners yet, but guess what? We were really good at giving a service experience, right? That was our thing. And therefore, then we kept growing to the point where we could hire people who were more technical than us, and we're teaching them how to do that, right? Which, leads us into the next one, Larry, which is the experience is the product. It's not carpet cleaning. It's not HVAC. It's not whatever. It's the experience, right? The feeling the customer has about us and our people and our company and our brand is what they're going to judge us on, right? Do they feel respected in the home? Do they feel that our technicians are informing them of their options or what's going on or whatever, right? Are they comfortable with the people coming in their house, right? Look, we've all hired people who were like, I don't know if I want them in my mom's house, right? Everybody's made that hire. We went so far as in our world, most of our clients were female and most of our technicians were male. We had all of the female employees do the first interview with our people. We used to call it the creeper test, right? Would you want this person in your home? And if the answer was no, there's no second interview for that person, no matter how much the experience they had, because if the girls in our office weren't feeling comfortable with this person, then our clients weren't going to feel comfortable either, right? When we put that guardrail in place, that was a huge game changer for us, because we could just see in our client what the clients were saying about our team, that they were feeling comfortable. Never underestimate the discomfort that our clients have with us in their personal space, right? We have to do everything we can to make them more comfortable, right?
We never even go. We're in like people's master bedrooms, master bathrooms, places that family members outside of the initial immediate family don't even go in. I mean, how many times have you been in your parents' bathroom after you're 20 years old? I mean, you're not going to your brother's or sister's master bedroom or anything like that, master bathroom. And then you got these strangers in there doing stuff in there, and you're like, and we don't think much about it, but there's the creepiness factor. I mean, you got to be aware of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's always a thing. And then also just, Larry, you and I know this we dealt with plumbers a lot. We knew plumbing companies where most of the plumbers at that company were only plumbers so that they could get into the medicine cabinet to feed their addiction. We used to hear that all the time, right? And that's like a thing. And we just never want to be that company. We don't want that as part of our deal, right? So, and that leads back to the next point, which is, technical skills are important, but the people skills are what grows the company. We're not going to be able to scale a company based on technical skill alone, because really what grows company? Marketing. What grows marketing? Great reviews, referrals, referral partners, right? All the people portion. Most of us are local, right? Most of us here on this call probably aren't nationwide. We work in a 30-mile radius or a 40-mile radius. And what happens there? Word gets out. Word gets out that you're a great place to work for. So you get more people that want to work for you. Word gets out that you have high standards. So people want to call you and do a good job. I mean, Larry and I think if we did anything right in our service businesses, we just had a really good reputation so that people just immediately trusted us because we had so many reviews online, right? Everybody likes to talk about digital. I'll talk about marketing just briefly about this. Everybody's saying, I need to pour more money into digital. I need to get more leads. That's only going to work if you have awesome reviews. Digital's not going to work if you're a 3-star company. You're just wasting money, right? I think Katie Harris always says the cutoff point for Google reviews is as soon as you dip below 4.7, people start to wonder, right? That 4.7 is a very important number on Google, right? So what's my job? To go give an amazing service experience with all of my technicians and be above 4.7 consistently, right? If I can do that, I can make my ad spend work for me. So everybody loves to talk about digital marketing all the time. I rarely hear people talking about how service experience drives that digital marketing, right? I don't want to be spending tons of money and I'm never going to get anything out of it because my reviews suck. I have a bigger problem than getting the phone to ring, right? And then last one, if we're not training consistently, we're falling behind, right? Look, Larry and I had a disagreement early on about training. I wanted to do more and he wanted to do less, right? Because he didn't want to spend the money. which I understand, right? Like I totally get Larry's perspective. But the thing was, without spending the time and resource to train, we couldn't scale because we weren't going to get all those 5-star reviews and all those referral partners raving about us and all of our clients telling their neighbors what a great experience they were, right? So we trained and we trained and we trained and we trained. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'd stand in the warehouse and I'd pick one of the guys and go, come up and stand up, pretend to ring the doorbell. Great. Now you're going to walk me through that theater of business.
More important, what it did was you would see the people run with these skills and they would rise up, see their capacity rise up. Because then we're like, oh, we have future managers here. Or no, we don't have future managers. And that you could see the capacity of people like Brian's probably seen, because he's got a big team and he's showing all these lessons. Some people are responding real well and their behaviors are changing because they're learning new things and they see the value of it. They might be rising in their ability. Like, that guy can be future manager, marketer. So he has more capacity. He's a smart guy, a lot more than he was before presented new information. I don't know if that's what you're running into, Brian, but that's what happened to us. And we talked to many of our other clients.
I mean, also, Larry, the amount of money that you spend, let's say, let's just break it down into money. It costs money to train, right? If we have 10 guys and we spend 15 minutes a day training, there's an actual dollar amount that goes with that. But what we learned was whatever we spent in a week, we more than made up for in retaining technicians longer, because replacing people is super expensive, of having better reviews online because they stayed longer and they got good at what they did, having more referrals, fewer callbacks, right? So there's all these things on the backside of training that really we should be trying to quantify to make sure that our training's paying off for us. So like my key performance indicators when it came to the people side was, how long do people stay? What's their average ticket? What's their add-on sales look like? What's their callback percentage, right? Like, I can quantify whether my investment in them as a group and individually is working. And we found, even though you used to stand there and like tap your watch at me, like, let's roll this thing up so they can go make us some money, that we made more money by doing a little bit more training every day.
But they loved it when I did that to you. They laughed. They thought it was so funny.
Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yep, I get it.
All right. So anyway, Larry, that's all I got today.
Thank you for listening to the Blue Collar Nation podcast. For more information about Eric and Larry and SuperTech University, please visit us at supertechu.com. That is supertechu.com.